Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank you for coming to this debate. It's surely a pleasure to see you all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for presiding. The idea that we should tell someone not to vote, or that they don't have to vote, certainly sounds un-American. However, that is not what we're saying. We're saying that if you choose to, Mr. Speaker, you have the ability to not to vote. You have the freedom to. Just like you have the freedom to vote, you have the freedom not to vote. It is your choice. It is one of the choices you can make. The U.S. ideal that lets us have this is most closely correlated to capitalism, where the voluntary agents of society have the ability to choose whether to partake in certain business deals. In this same way, we have the choice to vote for certain candidates, or not vote for certain candidates, or not vote for anyone. To quote South Park, my vote is either for a turd or for, it is a douche or a turd sandwich. If in an election, someone believes that, for instance, like the 2008 election, that their choices are between a turd and a douche sandwich, and then maybe possibly some shining tiny diamond in the rough, maybe from some lesser political party, they have the ability to either not vote or vote. If they choose not to vote because they don't want their name associated with both, either a douche or a turd sandwich, they could choose not to vote. It is their freedom. The government kind of was alluding to us claiming that we are proposing oligarchy, that we are somehow culling the voters or limiting the number of voters that a democracy requires for everyone to vote. However, we are empowering them by giving them the ability to make a choice. The government also mentioned that we also can empower dictators and oppressors in a democracy where fewer people vote. However, this is not the case. The minority is generally protected by the elected, especially in the US. And by telling everyone to vote, you turn it into a popularity system, which is basically how the US runs, where the majority pretty much gets to choose what they want, not the minority. So, therefore, the voters don't really get to choose to save a minority. They get to choose to propose their own views, and the people they choose to vote in get to help the minorities. However, that's not exactly clear-cut like that. By definition, if we have fewer people voting, the minority that might be oppressed, if they are united, they can choose and require fewer voters to change the government from an oppressed state if they choose to, though. So in this case, not voting could actually help someone out. Could actually, if you don't know any better, but someone else might, or for whatever reason you have not to vote, you can choose not to vote and, in essence, be actually helping a minority. Not a minority individually, but a minority in population. Another point that the government made was that corruption was the cause of the Civil War. Well, not the cause of the Civil War, but corruption is a cause that corruption is a problem that not voting will provide. However, I disagree with that. The Civil War was not caused by corruption. It was caused by people who lost their vote in a democracy and didn't like the result just because the majority disagreed with them. It was not a failure of democracy. Corruption, on the other hand, is a failure of democracy, where in such states as in Iran, whether you vote or not vote, your vote doesn't matter, or supposedly doesn't matter. And the current people in charge could choose to ignore your vote. That's not something a voter can fix. Sure, there were protests, but a voter wouldn't be able to fix that regardless of if they voted or not. Next, what are some of the reasons that someone might choose not to vote? It could be a waste of time. Now, why is it a waste of time? I don't know if any of you have been to some of the polling stations, but some of them are underpopulated, and the lines are endless. The best example of this, or the best example of this similarity, would be the line we had here today. in 2008. The line was 2 hours long, where they split certain people up by name, and
Just point of information, we haven't voted yet in 2008 election.
oh, we haven't voted yet? In the 2004 election, my bad.
Sustained.
I'm sorry, I meant to say the 2004 election, where the lines were 2, 4, 8 hours long in certain areas, depending on where you lived. That is not something certain individuals can give up. Someone also might choose to vote because they don't see themselves as fit to vote or have an opinion. Whereas the jury system works where the smartest individuals are often said to be the ones that are best able to get out of it, while the individuals of lesser ability have to stay and work for the jury system. Voting works quite the opposite. The smart individuals will realize that this is their opportunity to vote and will vote. However, other individuals which are less capable will realize they shouldn't vote, and therefore they don't have to vote. Another reason why we shouldn't vote. The government claimed that we should have an educated population, and my partner here disagree with that. I agree with that. However, you're never going to get a real an educated, perfect population. That is not ideal. That is something, yes, we would all like to have, and would therefore give us the ability to say everyone should vote. However, we don't have that. People don't follow politics. They're disinterested. They don't like it. They find it to be the turd sandwich and the douche scenario. If someone doesn't like to vote or doesn't want to vote, by forcing them to vote, you're restricting them, and that is not how it should be run. Also, by not voting, you are making a vote in that you are letting others vote for you. It is your choice. It's not being forced upon you. But if you think other people are more qualified to vote, you are giving them the opportunity to vote. And with that, I'd like to finish up my speech. Thank you.